Right, let's jump straight in because this is important. Welcome to this explainer, where we take complex, honestly sometimes overwhelming topics and break them down into totally clear, actionable steps for you. Today, we're tackling an incredibly urgent issue that just doesn't get talked about enough: securing your child's financial future by freezing their credit to prevent identity theft.
5. I want to hook you immediately with this staggering statistic from a recent study of 40,000 kids. The absolute youngest victim of identity fraud in that entire study, it wasn't a teenager, it was a baby, just 5 months old. It's kind of hard to even wrap your head around, isn't it?
And the financial devastation can just be massive. $765,000. That's the actual amount of fraudulent loans taken out in the name of a 16-year-old girl. Someone managed to steal her identity and rack up nearly $1 million in debt before she even had a chance to apply for her very first student loan. No way you want that happening.
So you're probably asking yourself the big question here. Why on earth would a criminal target a child? Well, it seems unthinkable to us, but to a fraudster, a child's unused social security number is literally the ultimate prize. Let's look at exactly how they exploit this and, way more importantly, how we can stop them.
Here's our game plan for today. We'll cover 1. The invisible identity threat. 2. Freezing versus fraud alerts. 3. How to freeze their credit. 4. Myths and common challenges. 5. Pro tips for total protection. And finally, 6. Legalities and final steps.
All right, Section 1, the invisible identity threat, protecting the blank slate.
Criminals absolutely love a child's credit profile because, well, it's a completely clean canvas that nobody is watching. And this leads us to something called synthetic identity theft. The way this works is actually terrifying. See, back in 2011, the Social Security Administration started issuing randomized Social Security numbers. That basically means a bank can no longer look at an SSN and know the age of the person it actually belongs to. So, a criminal takes a child's valid, unblemished Social Security number, pairs it with a totally fake name and an adult birth date, and boom! They construct an entirely new fake identity. Because kids aren't checking their credit, these criminals can use that synthetic identity for years, snagging credit cards, car loans, you name it, without ever being detected.
Moving on to Section 2, freezing versus fraud alerts, choosing the right shield.
Okay, before we get to the how, we really need to understand the tools at our disposal. You probably heard about two main options: a security freeze and a fraud alert. Now, a fraud alert leaves the credit report visible, but asks lenders to verify identity before granting credit. Think of it like a warning flag. A security freeze, on the other hand, completely blocks access to the credit report. Lenders literally can't see it, which means they'll automatically deny any new credit applications. So, the bottom line, a freeze is the ultimate preventative tool. It stops the whole credit granting process dead in its tracks.
Let's get into the details. Section 3. How to freeze their credit. A procedural guide.
Yes, it does require a little bit of paperwork, but look, we're going to get through this easily. Here is the big picture 3-step process. Step 1, gather your documents. Step 2, fill out the specific forms. And Step 3, submit them to all 3 major bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, hold on, my child doesn't even have a credit file. And you know what? You're probably right. When you submit this request, the bureaus actually have to synthesize a blank file for your child first, literally just so they have something to attach the freeze to. Let's zoom in on Step 1. What do you literally need to hold in your hands? First, you need your government-issued ID, like a driver's license. Then, proof of your current address, like a recent utility bill. You'll also need proof of your own identity, like your Social Security card or your birth certificate. And for your child, you absolutely must provide copies of their Social Security card and their birth certificate. Here is a massive pro tip for you. Make 3 physical copies of all these documents right away, because you have to contact each of the 3 bureaus separately. They definitely do not share this info with each other.
I also want to make a quick aside to cover foster parents and legal guardians. You absolutely have the legal right to protect the children in your care using this exact same process. You just need to include your specific legal documentation in the packet, things like your court-appointed documents, power of attorney, or foster care certification. And federal law ensures you can place these freezes completely for free. Once you've got it all gathered up, you'll need to send those packets to the specific mailing addresses for Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, just a quick administrative heads up, while Experian actually offers a secure online portal where you can upload digital scans of your documents, TransUnion and Equifax generally require you to send physical copies through the mail. Just make sure to use the specific department P.O. boxes listed on their forms to avoid any frustrating delays.
Section 4. myths, and common challenges, clearing the air.
All right, let's dismantle some common misconceptions that might be making you drag your feet on this. You might have heard that freezing credit costs money, or that it somehow stunts a child's ability to build a credit score later on in life. Both of these are completely false. Fact: placing, temporarily lifting, or permanently removing a security freeze is 100% free by federal law. Period. In fact, it has absolutely zero impact on their credit score. It's really just a padlock on the door. It doesn't change anything about what's actually inside the house.
Let's look at how this whole thing evolves as your child grows. At age 14, Experian policy actually allows minors to start managing their own freezes, and federal law requires child welfare agencies to start pulling annual credit reports for foster youth. When a child hits 16 or 17, they gain the full legal authority to independently request or remove a freeze across all bureaus. And age 18? Well, unfortunately, that's typically when undetected identity theft is finally discovered. It usually happens when they're applying for their first student loan or an apartment and just get completely unexpectedly rejected. We want to avoid that whole nightmare entirely.
Section 5. Pro tips for total protection, beyond the freeze.
A freeze is absolutely your best defense, but there are other things you need to be doing. First, know the warning signs. If your child's credit hasn't been frozen yet, or if you're worried they might already be a victim, keep a close eye on the mail. If your 7-year-old gets a pre-approved platinum credit card, yeah, that's a red flag. If you start getting debt collection calls asking for your kid, or an IRS notice about unpaid taxes for a job they obviously do not have, or if you're suddenly denied government benefits because someone else is already claiming your child's social security number, those are immediate flashing sirens that their identity has been compromised.
To prevent that from ever happening, implement these security best practices at home. Securely store their physical documents, things like their actual social security card and their medical bills. Sadly, a lot of child identity theft is actually familial identity theft, committed by someone the child actually knows, who has access to the house. Shred unneeded documents, start talking to your kids about protecting their data online as they grow up, and maybe even consider using identity monitoring services to just keep an eye on things.
Section 6. Legalities and final steps, securing their future.
You know, there's a line from our source material that really hits the nail on the head. With a frozen credit profile and identity protection active, you can sleep well knowing your children are protected. And it's so true. Yes, making copies of birth certificates and mailing letters to P.O. boxes is kind of an annoying bureaucratic chore, I get it. But it's a one-time chore that guards your child against literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent debt. It gives you immense peace of mind.
So I want to leave you with the question to really think about. Will you secure their blank slate today? Seriously, don't put this off. Go to your filing cabinet, pull out those birth certificates and social security cards, make your copies, and just start this process. It's honestly one of the most impactful things you can do for your child's financial future.
And right before we wrap up the explainer, a quick note. This explainer provides comprehensive educational information based on our source material. Please consult a financial advisor or a legal expert for personalized advice regarding your family's specific circumstances. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.